Welcome to the Detroit Cast,
Big fan.
a show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay, Big E. How are you, my friend?
Hello, you son of a bitch. I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, we finally made it to our last show of the week.
Nice shortened week. That was
Yeah.
easy, huh?
Not too bad, right?
Kind of like that, the 3-day week.
You know whose birthday it is today?
Oh, no. It's
Mr.
not yours,
Dog.
is it? Kadog?
Apparently.
Well,
Wow.
Mr.
Mr. Dog.
I had no idea.
I had no idea he had birthdays.
I didn't either.
I didn't. Yeah, that's a good point.
Fucking Kadog. Of course he has birthdays.
What do you want for your birthday, Kevin?
There's probably some random fact about his age. He's probably like 19 or some shit.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or he's like 52.
Yeah. God
I have
knows.
no idea.
Yeah, the CIA keeps all that shit under wraps. They don't
Yeah.
want people to be able to identify their members. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. I was telling you guys before we got started here. Big weekend for Beth and I. Is Harry Mann is going to sample a family.
Wow.
Got basically an interview with a family to see how he behaves.
Don't fuck it up, Harry, man.
Dude, he's such a good boy. But
Is his eye totally healed up? Like, there's not going to be any, like, weepiness coming out of there that's going to gross anybody out?
I think he still has tear ducts.
They're not going to be like, oh, what's with the discharge, the yellowish discharge?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
But I'm wondering, I'm just
That can be
hoping.
off-putting.
You think? Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have a newer picture of him. Harry Man, look at his poops.
So what are his chances? Does this look good for him?
I don't know. I just got a text from Beth yesterday saying, yeah, Harry Mann's got an interview with a prospective family on Friday. And so I'm just like, okay, well, we've got to make sure he's on his best behavior. We've got to make sure he knows how to behave and what to do. He's a good boy, but I don't
Does
want
he?
him to get nervous.
Give him some final instructions.
Yeah. So hopefully he gets a new home. And then that goddamn one-eyed cat, too.
Maggot face or maggot eye. Yeah.
Maggot eye. I've been calling him Jax, as in one-eyed Jax. But he's still too young to be adopted out. He's like 6 weeks old now. And he's just so wee, and he's getting
Are you
to be
still playing with his ball bag?
No, you don't have to massage his ball bag anymore. He knows how to whiz now. But he's cool as shit. If anyone's looking for a black kitty, he's awesome. But he's not ready yet. He needs another week or
A
so.
little bit more bacon.
Another couple weeks of bacon, yeah. So a couple big days coming up for these little guys.
Yeah, get him out of your life, right?
Yeah.
Well, then bring more in. Don't pretend like that's it. Like, don't pretend like this.
Right. I know, dude.
You know there's
believe me.
You look around, drive around. There's
Yeah.
troops everywhere. There's more coming down
Apparently
the
they'll
pipe.
bring him up from Arkansas too if you don't have enough up here.
Yeah. What was that story again? I'm trying to remember.
My brother
Oh, yeah, your brother. That's right.
just adopted a dog and it came from Arkansas.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah. He's got a dog. He needed another one?
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I'll never understand it.
Yeah. I love these guys. There's just a lot of work that goes into them. That's all. So anyway, but unfortunately, you're right. As soon as these guys leave, I'm sure that a couple more will move in, and it just makes
Couple more one-eyed pets.
it makes everything so much harder. You know what I mean? Like every task involved in life is more difficult when you have a bunch of them running around. But they're good boys. Both of them are good boys. Anyway, what fun news today to wake up and see that there's yet another fucking police shooting.
I was listening to to Sirius CNN on the way in, and I thought a guy misspoke when he said Minnesota and not
Yeah.
Baton Rouge. I'm like, what a dumbass! You're on CNN. You give a wrong fact like that. No, there's another police shooting in Minnesota.
Yeah. And this one's interesting. Well, it's got all the hallmarks, black guy pulled over by police, shot. He is dead. But this one was interesting because the girlfriend who was in the passenger seat filmed it and live Facebooked it. The only problem with that is what usually happens is there's really nothing all that remarkable in a normal traffic stop. But then once shit goes awry, if you will, that's when video cameras start rolling. So we always get this view of kind of after the fact. Not necessarily the case with Alton Sterling in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I guess we got more of that when it wasn't just after the shooting. But a lot of these do, and we've got the video here if you want to play some of this. It's just crazy to see.
So brutal to see how calm she is.
Yeah, the guy's name is Philando Castillo. He's 32 years old. Lavish Reynolds is the chick.
Lavish and Philando.
Yeah, right. And they got pulled over, which I love when people do this. Got pulled over for a busted taillight, and apparently they were executed for a busted taillight. And I just have a feeling there's more to that story. Unfortunately, this is one where we don't have a whole lot of information, but it's enough to absolutely rile up the masses, and the whole country is losing their shit over this video, which I'm sure you'll see everywhere. Go ahead, Ian.
We got pulled over for a busted tail light in the back. And the police just, he's covered. He killed my boyfriend. He's licensed. He's licensed to carry. He was trying to get out his ID and his wallet out his pocket, and he let the officer know that he had a firearm.
People still
and he was
using
reaching
those
for his
air
wallet,
fresheners that hang from
and
the...
the officer just shot him
Did
in
you
his
see that?
arm.
She's got two of them
We're
hanging
waiting
from her.
for back. I will, sir. No worries. I will.
Fuck!
He just shot his arm off.
God, that's
We got
brutal.
pulled over on Larpener.
Told him not to reach for it. I told him to get his hand out.
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his
Tell the
driver's
cop's
license.
devastated, too.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
That's
Please
the
don't
cop
tell me
yelling. I
he's
told
dead.
him.
Please don't tell me my boyfriend just went like that.
Keep your hands where they are, please.
Yes, I will, sir. I'll keep my hands where they are.
Lavish, you are one of the most calm people
Please
on the
don't tell
planet.
me
Yeah.
this, Lord. Please, Jesus, don't tell me that he's gone.
Isn't that
Please
remarkable?
don't tell me that he's gone.
Yes.
Please, officer, don't tell me that you just did this to him. You shot 4 bullets into him, sir. He was
Oh, this
just getting
is
his
brutal to
license
watch.
and registration,
There's
sir.
a 4-year-old, too.
Is she behind the driver right now?
I don't know if she's in the car. You would think she'd be screaming her head
Yeah.
off. But if she's mom's daughter, maybe she's very, very...
Calmest 4-year-old ever.
Keep him up.
Where's my daughter? You got my daughter?
Face away from me.
Okay, so obviously daughter's out of the car.
So Lavish is still filming.
Yeah.
Walking. Keep walking. Keep walking.
People are pointing to how
Keep
brutal they
walking.
are to her right here.
Get on your knees. Get on your knees.
Because I believe they cuff her. The phone goes down. But then she's filming again in the back of the cop car.
Ma'am, you're just being detained
That is
right
a
now.
stunning video.
Yeah, it sure is. Hundreds of people descended onto the governor of Minnesota's house at 3 a.m. Imagine that scene as you're laying in bed. As hundreds of people just show up on your doorstep.
Pitchforks and torches.
Yes, just
awful.
screaming. Yeah, they showed up and formed at 3 a.m. chanting, "We will stand our ground. We will not move." Blah blah blah, and they've stopped at numerous places. I think where he lived, where the shooting took place, and at the governor's man. I just picture this governor laying in bed at 3 a.m. and just having an angry mob outside demanding answers, and the guy's just like, "Fuck."
What happened?
What? I just went to
Wait,
bed
why are
3
you
hours
here?
ago. Like, what's going on? Yeah, I understand the outrage. You watch that video, it seems brutal, but the fact is, at this point, we have no idea what happened in that car. I mean, take it. If you take Lavish at her word, it sounds monstrous, but there's obviously something more that happened in that confrontation right there.
Yeah, you'd think.
I would hope that a cop wouldn't just shoot a guy because a taillight was out.
Could we tell from that video whether he was wearing a body cam?
I couldn't. I'm not.
I didn't
I wasn't
look for
even.
that, but-
Yeah, I didn't look for it either. She says the 4-year-old is hurt. I guess at one point in the video too. Desperately wanted to get mommy's purse. I don't know why that was such a pressing matter to the 4-year-old, but apparently it was. Shortly after the video, this video is like 10 minutes long. But she's sitting in the back of the police cruiser, and she repeats her story, begging people to come here to the corner of whatever and help me. And And then she's like, it was the Chinese police officer that shot him. The Chinaman did it. He asked him for his license and registration, which was in the back of his pocket because he keeps his wallet in his pocket. And as he went to reach, he let the officer know before he was reaching that he had a firearm on him. And before he can let the officer know anything, the officer took off shots. About 4 or 5 rounds were shot. And my boyfriend, I don't know what condition he's in. I don't know if he's okay or if he's not okay. I'm in the back of this police cruiser, handcuffed. They've got machine guns pointed at me. That's what she was saying. So, yeah, there's obviously more to this story than we're...
So do the Chinese hate black people too? How do we...
I don't know. I got to be honest with you, Jay. When I read that, I went... there was kind of a tiny sigh of like, oh, okay, cool. At least it wasn't just a straight-up white dude. I know that sounds terrible to say, but that thought honestly crossed my mind where it was like, oh, God, this country doesn't need it. It doesn't need this narrative like all white guys just want to kill black guys.
Right.
Like, that sucks. And so, no offense to the Chinese cop if he was the one, but, you know, yeah. Anyway, there's more coming out about this guy, you know, as they try to dig into people's pasts.
What do we got?
I don't think they've found anything yet. It's just breaking now, but his family, of course, is saying he's a good boy. He was a straight-A student, worked at a school. I guess it was a cafeteria worker, and so he cooked food for the little kids, his uncle said. And his mother, Valerie, said her son lived by the law, died by the law. He worked as a cafeteria supervisor at J.J. Hill Montessori School in St. Paul, Minnesota. They took a good man, a hardworking man. He worked since he was 18 years old. Clarence is the uncle, added his nephew, worked at the cafeteria for 15 years or so, cooking for the little kids. Described him as a good kid. His Facebook depicts a young man who was politically active and enjoyed partying. He shared images of Black Panthers, like the Black Panther Party, and posted the caption, "By any means necessary." So, I mean, if that's a tiny clue into how this guy would feel about the police, there's that for what that's worth. You know,
Well, hopefully there's a body cam or some other camera that shows the actual event.
yeah. I think it just goes to show or say, you know, there's a lot of people that are like, he had a concealed weapons permit. He had a concealed carry permit. And so he told the cop he had a gun. That cop is not going to let you just take that gun out on your own. It's not the way that works. If they tell you to get your ID, they're not going to let you reach into your pocket and grab your gun. I don't know what happened here. We don't know. But if that's what went down, that's going to be a tough one, man. I don't know. I imagine there are going to be many, many protests, as there are with Alton Sterling.
Yeah, we have a new video on him, right?
Yeah, what do you think of that video? It's from Swung Around. What are we? The first video we saw were kind of left of the car and the incident.
This one, I think, was filmed by the owner of the store who walked out. If you picture like a 7-Eleven type door, you know, just walks out the door, and here this fight is happening right in front of him, the scuffle. And so he starts filming, I think, when the guy's already on the ground. And, right at the moment of the shots, it's still hard to see exactly which officer shoots and everything because the camera goes to the side once the shots are immediately when the shots are fired. I think it's the guy who's on his legs who fires the gun.
See, I automatically assumed it was the gun we saw drawn, but you never see a flash. You never see a muzzle flash.
Yeah, I don't think it's him. And you can see tats on the guy because once the shots are done, one of the cops like rolls off him, and you see tats on his forearm, and there's no tats on the dude who we clearly see with the gun drawn.
Yeah,
who's kind of leaning on his arm.
You want to watch?
I think it's the guy with the glasses who's in the main scuffle with him who ends up shooting him.
Yeah, you want to play some of it? I saw clips of this, but
warning.
Hey, bro! You fucking move, I swear to God! Hey, boss! Get on the ground!
And then watch the second guy walks up and takes something out of his pocket right here.
Yeah.
So the question is, was he reaching for that gun? You
what was going on?
Still can't tell, you know?
Yeah, that's going to be tough. I know people are going to be pissed about that, but there's something going on. There's some sort of confrontation going on when they're on top of that guy that makes those people react that way. I don't know what it is. Certainly not trying to justify it in any way. It doesn't look good. There's no doubt.
No, it escalated really, really quick, though. That dude perceived something. Either he perceived, all right, this is a chance to kill a black guy, or he perceived some kind of threat.
Yeah.
Whether that was reasonable or not, I don't know.
And it's important to remember, too, that they were called to that location because of him apparently waving a gun at someone as he was selling those CDs in front of the store there. Blaine Salamani and Howie Lake II are the two cops. Yesterday morning we were talking about this. They hadn't released the names yet, but those are the guys. So anyway, yeah, it's tough, but people are already divided. The whole Black Lives Matter. It seemed like that was kind of dying down a little bit, and to have two of these in back-to-back days, so.
Yeah, and I think they said the Department of Justice is going to be investigating the Alton Sterling one,
right?
And the Minnesota one is just so soon. Don't even know what's going on with that.
Yeah. I was reading a article, I think you read it too, on a CNN yesterday about these shootings and was Alton Sterling killing justified?
Yeah, basically, what are the rules for cops in these instances?
And they kind of point back to case law, different instances that have happened in the past that have kind of guided how this works. And they in the article they point out how demonstrators are quick to just like act like they're above the law. Fuck these guys. The cops are going rogue. But they say guiding these investigators will be a seemingly simple but key query. Did officers believe their use of force was justified? What does the high court say? And so the Supreme Court set the bar in such a place that a police officer can open fire if she or he believes the suspect poses a threat to the officer or the community. That's from a 1985 decision in Tennessee v. Garner. And the court has granted officers significant leeway in dictating whether a use of force was justified. That ruling came 4 years later in Graham v. Connor. So in the 1970s, Tennessee had a law providing that the police could employ all the necessary means to effect the arrest. So what does that mean? If someone's running down the street, you
take them down to Chinatown.
Whatever you got to do, by all means necessary. So when two Memphis policemen responding to a prowler encountered a 15-year-old, Edward Garner, climbing a fence as he fled fled this house that he was suspected of burglarizing, they opened fire on him.
Yeah, I think that cop in South Carolina last year was operating under that law. Maybe.
Is that what he was doing?
Yeah.
He was hearkening back to Tennessee v. Garner, 1970s. Dude, that's awful. 15-year-old kid robs a house and he's climbing a fence trying to get away. I can't catch him. He's too fast and young and shit. Just shoot him off the fence. Fuck. Garner died at the hospital. In his possession was no weapon, but they did find a $10 bill and a stolen purse. Oof. Yeah. Garner's father sued, alleging numerous constitutional violations. The case was in the courts for more than a decade before the Supreme Court ruling, which was that the Tennessee statute mandating use of force was unconstitutional. They said where the suspect poses no immediate threat to the officer and no threat to others, the harm resulting from failing to apprehend him does not justify the use of deadly force to do so. It is no doubt unfortunate when a suspect who is in sight escapes, but the fact that the police arrive a little late or a little slower afoot does not always justify killing the suspect.
That's a great line.
Yeah, agreed.
You're not fast enough to catch him.
Yeah, no. He wins this round.
Right.
Get him next time. Better luck next time, sir. A police officer may not seize an unarmed, non-dangerous suspect by shooting him dead. Crown is spoken order. So cops can kill suspects if they're dangerous. This is where Graham v. Connor comes in. That case was in 1983 when Delhorn Graham, a diabetic, asked a friend to take him to Charlotte, North Carolina, to this store for orange juice to counteract the insulin reaction that he was having. The line in the store was too long, so Graham walked in quick and then quickly turned away, which this cop was like, black guy came in here, left rather quickly. What's going on with that guy? Keep an eye on him.
shenanigans. He's a ne'er-do-well.
He walked in, saw that line, and exited immediately. So Graham gets in the car with his buddy. He's like, "Oh, you take me to my girlfriend's house." He's desperate for some fucking orange juice. And as they left, the cop follows him, pulling them over a short distance from the store. Suffering from the reaction, Graham acted strangely, exited the car, circled it twice, sat down on the curb, and then passed out.
Poor guy.
He's just, damn it, I just need some orange juice, man. Graham was handcuffed, and when backup officers arrived, one thought he was drunk. He was placed over the hood, and as Graham pleaded with officers to just look at my wallet, man. I got my diabetic information in my wallet. They're like, one of the officers told him to shut up and shoved his head down. Graham filed suit saying he'd suffered injuries. I guess they broke an ankle and stuff. Hindsight is 20/20, right? Well, an officer's split-second decision making during a heated moment is not. Enter the objective reasonableness standard by which police use of force is measured today, citing the 1973 Federal Appeals Court decision in Johnson v. Glick. We all remember Johnson v. Glick. Who can forget
Glick.
that? Yeah. The court noted that not every push or shove is excessive, even if it may later seem unnecessary in the peace of a judge's chambers. So, yeah, now that we're all here calm in the courtroom, it seems like that was over the top, but it wasn't. The calculus of reasonableness must embody allowance for the fact that police officers are often forced to make split-second judgments in circumstances that are tense, uncertain, and rapidly evolving.
There you go.
Yeah, which is what we always point back to.
It's so easy to look at these things. Oh, he should have done this. He should have done this.
Do this, do that. Don't do this.
Stressful, evolving situation. You're doing your best to keep yourself safe and keep others safe.
Of which almost every one of them, I mean, they're all different in some way. Like, that's the thing with human behavior. You just don't know.
Yeah.
And, yeah. There are still many unknowns in the Sterling case. While the video certainly appears to show the officers killing Sterling, it fails to illuminate other details, namely whether Sterling was armed and possessed a threat to officers. Those details may be forthcoming with witness accounts, dash cam video, body cam, and whatever when that stuff's released. But, yeah, it's a tough situation.
I mean,
man.
if video doesn't show otherwise, don't you have to believe the cop if he's going to say, if it's undisputed he had a weapon in his pocket, right? We know they got a call there with a guy brandishing a weapon. Mm-hmm. Cop definitely takes something out of his pants as he's laying there dying. Let's assume that that's shown to be a gun. I mean, don't you have to, if you don't have video evidence or other witnesses contradicting that, you have to believe the cop if he's going to say, dude, he was going for the gun. He was trying to pull that out of there.
Yeah.
As a country, are we ready to accept that?
No, well, we had been for a long time, and I think we do that. We default to the police a lot, and I think people take issue with that and say there are rogue assholes. Well, yeah, sure there are, but I'm not willing to just concede that. That they're invited, like we talked about before. They're invited to a situation. They're asked to come because there's a problem. They didn't just walk up to a situation and start fucking with people.
And most of the time...
And so you have to just kind of give them that leeway, like, okay, here's someone who's supposed to be the professional in this situation to deal with this situation. And
most of the time, these situations escalate because the person won't comply with pretty simple orders at the beginning.
Right.
And instead, they want to argue their case right there instead of just going, okay, you got me?
Yeah.
Argue this in front of a judge. They think that they're going to win some sort of argument or physical tussle with the cops, and you're not.
And if you look at a case like Alton Sterling, he was the one that had the marijuana busted 5 years. For someone like him that's got a rather lengthy police record, it doesn't take a genius to go, okay, if you've got an unlicensed firearm on you, what are you looking at, 10 years?
Yeah.
In a prison cell for that? All of a sudden it becomes very real. He knows that gun's there. All of a sudden you can understand where a fight or flight mentality would come into play, where it's like
the possibility of using that gun becomes very real.
Very real.
And
I'm not saying it's an unlicensed gun. I don't know, but you can at least make that connection where it's like, okay, you understand why when a cop's going, where most people have this disconnect and they can't understand why a guy won't just put his hands up, lay down on the ground and blah, blah, blah. But if he knows he's got that firearm, it's like the video we talked about yesterday where the guy pulls it out of his waistband really quick and fires and almost shoots the cop in the face and then runs. That guy knew he had an unregistered fucking weapon on him and he's facing real jail time. So in that moment, his options are, they are going to find this gun and I'm going to be arrested and I'm going to prison, or I shoot this motherfucker in the head and run.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, whether Alton Sterling was thinking something similar to that, who knows? It's impossible to say, but it's a tough one, man. And unfortunately, it was absolutely crushing. It was heartbreaking yesterday afternoon to watch the media, as they do, go down and have a podium set up and his family's giving a press conference. That was fucking heartbreaking to watch that 15-year-old son of this guy who is dead. It's a tragedy, absolutely. To watch this 15-year-old fat kid losing his shit on TV. Sorry. Did you see him?
I didn't see him. I heard him, and I thought, I thought that was brutal, but I didn't see that he was fat, Mike. Jeez.
Yeah. Sorry.
They didn't play over the radio.
No, they didn't announce him as the fat son
and
of
coming
Alton
in,
Sterling.
the fat son of a
15-year-old, rather
pull up the
portly
video.
son.
You see if you can see the family of Alton Sterling giving the press conference and whatever. But immediately you've got the swarm of NAACP leaders calling for the chief to be fired. It's like, what? An altercation. I don't understand why you would immediately, like, if this guy's burying evidence, it came out immediately and they were like, we are looking into this. I mean, they're compiling evidence and they're looking at it. Like, why would you be calling for his head? He seems like the one guy who's doing exactly what you've always asked for.
Yeah.
Transparency, do the right thing. Like, what are you calling for his head for?
It's
Within
craziness.
24 hours. I don't get it. Yeah, that's the NAACP dude that's calling for his head.
Well, shouldn't they be getting ready for the upcoming season? I mean, this kind of sidetracks everything,
Yeah.
really.
Right. Yeah.
Is this one that you were talking about? This guy?
No. He's like a 15-year-old kid, dude. It's terrible.
Apparently he's fat,
Yeah, I'm just looking for a fact.
I've been told.
He's wearing a...
Apparently he's been described as rather large, portly, full-figured,
I mean, they had to take him.
big-boned.
They had to take him out of the thing and like into the family's arms. It was, dude. It was awful to watch. It really was. You really felt bad for the kid. Did I find anything?
Well, I mean, that was like 30 minutes. I guess that wasn't it.
No, that wasn't it. You'd see him up front. It's okay. We can find it in the break or something.
You can pull the fat kid's speech up later.
He didn't speak. He was just crying. I shouldn't have called him a fat. I'm sorry. I didn't know how else to describe him. I'm sorry.
15-year-old son of Alton Sterling. That wasn't enough.
Well, yeah, that probably would have been sufficient.
In the background crying.
Sorry about that. There you go. Yeah, that's him.
This incident is only one incident.
And he's wearing horizontal
What
stripes.
we're going to do today is root out the 1% of bad police officers that go around becoming the judge, the jury, and the executioner of innocent
This guy's got a
people,
Trayvon
period.
Martin shirt on
But
back
more
there.
specifically,
The other thing that was
innocent
interesting
black
about this
lives.
video, E and I
What
were
I'm
watching this
calling for
yesterday.
today
If they pan out
is
just
that
a hair,
the
the
chief
rest of
law
the family is over
enforcement
here all
officer, which is
filming
the
this
mayor,
press conference with their
fired the
iPhones.
chief of
boy.
police immediately.
In portrait,
In
yes.
portrait. Like this.
Be
Just-
fired immediately.
What are you gonna watch
I
that
demand
later?
That he resign if he has the guts.
Why?
Second,
Why?
I'm calling for the chief executive officer of this city to resign, to step
For
down.
what reason?
He must.
What
step
has he
down.
Why?
Because this is a new day. We will not have in our city, the capital city, anybody who allows this type of action to take
Please
place.
be objective for a moment.
No
Please
longer
look
the
at these
city.
facts
I'm
and go,
calling for the
Dude, unless you have emails from like the executive chief, right, saying like, "Hey, let's kill black people."
Yeah, there's too many of them roaming the cities. We need to take some of these guys out.
I mean, if you can't reasonably look at those videos and understand that there could be a situation here where this is a justified shooting, as tragic as it is. If you can't look at that, I mean, that's really sad, man. Be calling for jobs and calling for heads to roll.
Well, it's just very, these situations are all so tense and so troubling for the neighborhood, the family, the people
Everything's on
involved.
razor's edge, and then you have this.
And then you
know?
get someone with an absolute agenda that can so drive a stake through the heart of a community. I feel like they do have some sort of responsibility to call for calm and not demanding people be fired. Like you could understand it at least with even Ferguson, Missouri, when the police chief was just like they weren't playing nice with the community and all that. You could understand where people are like, fuck these guys. They're not being transparent. They're not interested in showing us what happened. But whoever's running the operation there in Baton Rouge was like, I mean, they've learned from other incidents around the country. Like, holy shit, we need to be as transparent as we can. They're having immediate press conferences, videos released. You know, they've released the names of the officers within 24 hours. Remember, that was the big thing in Michael Brown's case. They didn't want to release the names of officers involved. Wasn't that it for like 5 days or something?
Yeah, because they rightfully feared for the guy's life.
Yeah, Aaron Milson.
Yeah.
But this one, it was like first thing in the morning, they were given the names, and Department of Justice is going to look into this. Like, what more? That seems like the dream. You would think that NAACP leaders would be going, this is what we need out of our police force when something like this happens, not vilify the whole goddamn system.
And Kentucky's the number 1 seed.
Yeah, well.
That's what you'd think you'd hear.
Yeah.
Well, it's easy when I got all those one and doners, dude. He doesn't care about the rules.
Right.
I don't even know what I was saying.
No, your
anymore.
point's a good one, dude. I mean, to have this shit on Razor's Edge and then have the rabble rousers come down. I mean, is Sharpton going to be there today?
Yeah,
You know?
probably.
How is he not already? I can't
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah, I think he missed his flight. Yeah, something like that.
You didn't think the private jet?
I don't know. Yeah, I know. You can just see the tents coming up and the whole situation unfolding. It's just sad. It is. We'll keep an eye on it, though. Did you see Gretchen Carlson? Are you familiar with Gretchen Carlson?
I am familiar. I knew the name, and then I pulled up her picture, and I definitely seen this chick. She was on Fox and Friends, which is a
The morning
douchey
show?
morning show. Steve Ducey, some Brian guy, and then
Yeah.
it was her. I think they were on for several years.
They still do that morning show.
Yeah,
Is
it's-
Ducey still on there?
He's still on there with the Brian guy and a younger, better-looking chick.
Right.
Gotta move on. Gotta
Yeah.
cycle through.
They upgraded the hot chick. It wasn't I think Elizabeth Hasselbeck was in that seat for a few years.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
funny how that works. They just eventually they find maybe another place for them, and then
Yeah.
we got a new girl
Yeah,
here.
Gretchen was a little older.
I think she was like 50. She's filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against Fox News' boss, Roger Ailes, who's just a looker of a gentleman.
God,
I
if you're
mean,
going to harass any of the Fox News chicks, I think this might be the last one you'd harass, honestly.
Maybe that's
Really?
what he was thinking, though. Maybe he thought
Yeah, I
like,
can pull this.
yeah.
she is the host of The Real Story with Gretchen Carlson, and she alleges she was let go.
God.
Yeah, what is she on now? What network? Is she on CNN?
I don't. Well, she was on Fox News until June 23rd. She was there for 11 years.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
So she claims it's because she refused to sleep with Roger Ailes. Carlson writes in her court filing about a conversation she had with Ailes last September in which he allegedly said to her, I think you and I should have had a sexual relationship a long time ago. And then you'd be good and better, and I'd be good and better.
You mean this man?
Yeah.
God.
Look at that poops.
Oh, imagine what that must look like nude.
Yeah, it's not a good
I mean, the
look.
face is droopy. Can you imagine what else? Imagine
You know what
the
it looks
ball
like?
sack on that guy. The ball sack must extend to the knee.
Oh, yeah. And it's
Definitely
got
mid-thigh, at
long,
least.
strangly grays coming off the sack. You know what I mean? Doesn't he? He kind of looks like. Remember when Luke took Vader's mask off?
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Oh, I remember.
Doesn't he kind of look like that?
Yeah, a little bit. Like half blown up Anakin.
Yes, exactly.
Not a good looking gentleman.
Anyway,
That guy's got to. You got to have money.
and he does.
Like no, that's my point though. That's
He
the only
does.
way. He knew at one point, like, I better make some money.
He actually looks like he has a ventriloquist dummy mouth, doesn't he?
Sort of,
He's
yeah.
got those jowls that come down in a really pronounced way.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like his mouth just boom, 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 like he could pull a string on his
Now,
back.
what is
He would make a good ventriloquist dummy. Like if someone wanted to actually make a dummy out of him, that
Roger-
would work.
Roger
yeah,
Ailes?
sure.
What is he? He's the president of Fox. You said, or
Yeah, he's the boss over there. He's the head boss at Fox News.
He's the guy Trump's always bitching about, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Doesn't treat him fairly or whatever. She claims in her that Ailes called her a man hater and accused her of wanting to show up the boys when she complained about what she alleges was diminishing treatment and pervasive sexual harassment by Steve Ducey. Apparently, Ducey was giving her shit. Ducey also created a hostile work environment by regularly treating her in a sexist and condescending way, including by putting his hand on her and pulling down her arm to shush her during a live telecast. He's making his point. She's just whack, 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 and he's like, calm down, hen. Quit your cackling, hen.
He signals her to shut the fuck up by grabbing her arm and pressing it down.
You'll know when you're supposed to make a comment. Don't worry.
That
we'll
is
let you.
so condescending, but I love it. Oh, it's a great
E,
move.
if you weren't so dirty, I'd grab you and just pull your arm down.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great if we could reach over?
Instead of going, shut the fuck up, E.
Yeah, see, we don't have to worry about sensors or anything like that. So when E starts going, whack, 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 we can just go, shut up, E.
He needs to be better trained.
When she does it, he has to just politely reach over and grab that fucking arm and pull it down a little
It's
bit.
kind of polite, wasn't it?
It's not bad.
I'd have a problem with that.
Move. So these complaints about Ducey are why she was fired from the show in 2013 and placed as the host of her own afternoon show.
Isn't that better in a way,
That's
though?
what I was about
Like,
to say.
like,
Yeah,
it's not like they
seems
just
sort of like a promotion.
It's not like they just fired you. They literally gave you your okay. You want to keep talking? Here
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah,
It's
your
going
own.
to be
afternoon.
it's
In
going
the
to be a huge point by the lawyers. Isn't
Yeah.
it true that this was a promotion?
Going from morning show, though, to
Your own afternoon show?
afternoon show, I don't know.
You'd have to see
No one
the
watches the
details of
afternoon
it.
probably on Fox News.
But
But,
I guarantee you it was like, fuck, we can't fire this bitch. She's aging a little bit. They're just going to immediately say it's because she wouldn't put out or something. She's a bitch. We all know that.
Yeah, is there an age count in this or just sexual harassment?
I just saw sex harassment, but I could totally see behind the scenes like, dude, we can't just fucking fire this bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, can we? Is there some slot we can give her in the afternoon? I mean, if she pulls ratings, more power to her. If not, that gives us reason to fire her a year from now. So just give her her own show in the afternoon, and we'll be good. The spot was open at the time in the afternoon because he'd made the decision to move Megyn Kelly to the Kelly File to the 9 o'clock slot, right? Mm-hmm. Following the O'Reilly Factor. Hasselbeck was then brought in to join Ducey and Brian Kilmeade on Fox and Friends. I think they're the ones that SNL makes fun of all the time.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They are always
Because they are
making-
just douchey.
Are they?
Yeah, just
Never
over
watched
the
it.
top, friendly.
Oh yeah, the Fox and Friends
Yeah.
whole it's ridiculous.
They're the type that'll go outside to the street and they'll have like, hey, get ready for the summer, and they'll have the Home Depot people come in and
Oh
bring
my
some products,
God.
and Brian will grab a grass trimmer, and
I've been looking for a good trimmer. My wife. Always some joke, like cliche joke about the wife.
Yeah.
Nagging him.
the
or
wife's
something.
on me to get
that-
the weed whacker out.
That is definitely a formula that they have figured out. Like whether you're watching the Today Show,
Why does
Good
it
Morning
work?
America. I
Why
don't know
does it
what.
work?
I
Who are
don't
these
know,
People
dude.
like segments.
Yeah,
Right?
I
Is
guess.
that what it is? They
Is
like-
it just
I
Go
think
ahead.
so. It's just different than them sitting in studio, and it's
Well, not
it's a
just
little
that.
segment. It's a little bite-sized chunk.
Is it just that the people that are like you're getting up and you're going to work, it's so easy that you can just have it on, I guess. The kids, even if the kids are there.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about anything, but they all do this like in the summertime now. We'll go out to our Central Park stage
The
and
barbecues would be out
yes,
there. Yeah.
there's in the cooking segment and the
Isn't it remarkable how cooking segments can work on TV? Like
I know.
Sweet Pie had Cupcake Wars on the other day. I don't have cable, so we were using Slingbox.
sure.
But we were watching
How's that
Cupcake-
working for you,
which
by
is
the way? Is
cable.
that working well?
Pretty well,
free.
yeah. It's pretty good. So she's watching Cupcake Wars, and she's riveted by it, and as are millions of others around
Yeah.
the world. Like, why? What is it
Well,
about
I
these
could
cooking
maybe
shows?
see these.
We can't taste the shit.
I know, but I could maybe see the outlandish cooking shows because it becomes the drama too. But when you're talking cooking segments on Fox News or Good Morning America,
This is delicious. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
can you
cares?
smell that, everybody in studio? This is
I
unbelievable.
wish all you out there could be tasting this too. Yeah, I do too. God damn it.
Yeah, they love doing that like mix up, but they're always on a time crunch, which is
They're
hilarious to
never
me.
on time.
They're
They're all-
never on time, so it just turns into like, yeah, someone's yelling in the director's in their ear, just like wrap it up, fucking. And they're like, and so when you're done mixing all this slop together,
This
it comes
is what
out
it
like
looks like.
this.
Yep.
And they
Oh,
just
have a
fucking-
bite, everybody.
Oh.
Always.
There's always one pig on the set, which would be me, that can't help but eat too
God, this
early
is the
and
best
too often.
succotash I've ever had.
They're always
scooping
running
it in.
behind. You're right. They're always halfway through, and all of a sudden, like they just, whatever.
Yeah, well, we're out of time. Where can people find this delicious recipe? We'll have those posted on our news site. Get the recipe there so you can all
We'll have
fail
those
miserably trying to make this at home.
Posted on our news site.
But yeah, I noticed that. I did see Fox News, I think last summer. I can't even remember why, but I remember that Home Depot stage you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Where they had a half-ass version, like a cheap guy's version of Good Morning America's stage in Central
Yeah.
Park.
Yep.
And they had some country band playing. It's like, well, this is what a Friday. Welcome to Fox
Yeah,
and Friends
Well,
Friday.
Fox News is definitely gonna have a country band on. They'll have Eric Church or one of those guys up there.
Yeah, or they'll have something like, oh, Landon Donovan is here from the U.S. soccer team.
Well, get
and
ready
he's a-
this year, dude, with the Olympics.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine how many segments they can do this year where maybe they do a 40-yard dash amongst the.
But they won't even have that. They'll have like
No.
a 12-yard turf area.
Right.
With lines on it and everything.
Yes.
And they'll be like, oh, roll this down there. And
I actually feel bad for the celebrities because especially like the athletes, when you talk about this year with the Olympics coming up, they've got to be like, it's probably contractual through their, sponsorships and yada yada. And they're just there, probably just like, okay, dude, I'm like actually good at what I'm doing. And now I'm going to show this idiot how to shot put or something.
Right.
Anyway, going back to this Gretchen Carlson chick, she included a list of comments that Ailes made to her.
Oh, here we go.
He would oogle her in the office, asking her to turn around so he could view her posterior, so he could get a good look at her ass.
Honestly, if you look at this chick, this is the worst chick
What
on
was her name
Fox.
again?
She's got major cankles.
Yeah.
Gretchen Carlson.
I'll look at it.
Fox is known for having the blonde reporter and all that. And
Yeah.
the Megyn Kelly role kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, this is like, yeah, she's the worst.
Ailes once told people at an event that he likes to stay seated when women greet him so that they have to bend over to say hello.
Not a bad move.
It's not a bad move, right? I mean,
Plus, you're looking like a
looking for the
gentleman.
titty cleavage and stuff. That's your best opportunity at that. So, I mean, should he be vocal about that? Should he give his secret away? No, but
Isn't that something? We're going to be driven by our balls even into that age.
yeah.
What is that guy, like
That
75
sucks,
or something?
dude. Yeah, 74, I think. That does suck. I don't want to be driven by dick and balls at that age. No.
Yeah, you still want to be pounding away, though, at 75, don't you?
I guess,
do.
but yeah. Yes, but if I looked like
Does he
him,
have-
I think you just look, you have enough money that you buy it now. Like if you don't want it, like that girl, while okay to look at and whatever, she's probably not dying to bang Roger Ailes. So Roger Ailes is someone who can go, you know what, I'm going to pay $25,000 and I'm going to get the hottest chick I can.
Yeah, wouldn't
and
that
bang
suck?
her.
Like some people would look at that and go, "Oh, that'd be great." You're in this position of power. You can make all these chicks do whatever you want. But at the same time, they're just cringing, right? Like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm like whacking off this old Panoose, and now I'm gonna put it in my mouth. Oh, gross!
Oh,
Oh,
God.
gross! His balls are down to his knees, just cringing. But you're just like, whatever. I'd feel bad.
Is it possible that she just kind of sucked? Because I'm not seeing a lot of like he grabbed my titties or he forced himself. I know, but is it possible that she was getting a little older and just wasn't as popular?
Yes.
I'm assuming. It doesn't. It shouldn't shock anybody that all the chicks on Fox News are kind of hot in some way. Like there's very few people that are
Oh,
not.
she's
really,
Miss America '89.
This
Yeah.
is so funny to me, dude. With Google Images now, if you become famous, I mean,
Let's
look,
see
'cause
her.
it just says like her images now, and then it says like her 1989, and
She
this
looks very dynasty, doesn't she? Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
her Falcon's crest.
Miss Minnesota. It looks like
Now, see if you can find a recent image of her ankles. They're troubling.
ankles.
Go
Actually,
to like 2016 Gretchen Carlson ankles.
So she also says that he denied her various opportunities to do shit that other Fox News hosts could do. These include reducing her compensation, severely curtailing her appearance as a guest commentator, blocking her from appearing as a substitute host, refusing to assign her to cover high visibility events, refusing to give her social media, public relations, and advertising support.
Okay,
He
maybe
would-
I was overstating the cankles.
because this is
Yeah.
her show
I mean,
right
those
now,
aren't
right?
awful.
The real story. That was her show.
Yeah, I was just troubled by the whole leg or something. I don't know. There's something about her legs that
Yeah,
freaks me out.
For 50.
Oh, I
though,
know.
Pretty good looking.
She's fine.
I'd definitely have sex with her.
Anyway, yeah, what a crazy story. I wonder how you've dealt with these kinds of stories. What do you think of those allegations? Do you think there's enough
Yeah, you
there to?
definitely have seen worse, but that can constitute sexual harassment if it's not denied.
Dude, I think you just couldn't see it. It needs to be blown up. I'm looking at it. You're right. You'll have to see this image more blown up.
You got an ankle?
Well, if you look at it, it's the same one I was showing you. But if you look at it
Yeah, there's something kind of like
right there.
Yeah, dude, the calf is crazy.
Yeah, you can tell she works out, right? You don't just get that muscle from
I know
doing
Kid Dog knows
nothing.
how to enlarge these. I don't know how to enlarge them. But
Double click on it, maybe.
no, because that just goes to.
Oh, the next one. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Over the years, like I've been troubled by her legs. That's all I can say.
Okay,
I was
that's fair.
recalling cankles, but I guess I'm wrong on that.
Yeah. There are other people anonymously coming out from Fox News circles that are like, oh, yeah, this is a long time coming. You know, Ailes hated this bitch. We thought it would happen after she was taken off of Fox and Friends, said one source. She kept quiet because Roger gave her the afternoon show. Brilliant move by Roger. I got to give him that. But everyone at Fox knew it was eventually coming. He hated her and would tell people that she was a crazy, vindictive bitch. Carlson's not the only woman to accuse Ailes of such behavior. One Fox News contributor who asked him to remain anonymous said she had a similar encounter with him. He asked me to turn around so he can see my ass. Another said that they were only allowed to wear dresses on air. That's been...
Well, that's all right.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. What did you want to wear?
Pantsuit.
Ugh, gross.
That Hillary outfit that we all love. Little Kim Jong-unish.
Ugh, that $20,000 unwear.
Yeah. The shirt dress.
Hey, let's take a quick break, and then interesting information out of the GNR tour that hit Cincinnati last night.
Yeah, well.
Huh. We'll fill you in on what that is and more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zod Ford and Holly. We're much closer than you think, and we specialize in getting folks out of their lease up to 12 months early. It doesn't matter what brand or how many miles you have on it. The team at Zod Ford will assist in terminating your current lease with no penalties and hook you up with a sweet new Ford. So dump your overpriced, over-mileage lease and let your friends at Zod Ford make your wildest dreams come true. Check out our astonishing deals and massive inventory at ZodFord.com.
now, bitches, here's Mike and Jay.
Welcome back to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Just ran upstairs and grabbed a coffee and was watching the circus begin as the interviews with family members of Philando Lavish dominating the news already.
Are you sure it's Philando and Lavish, this one? The Minnesota guys? Are you because you've been getting them confused?
Yeah,
It's the Minnesota people, yeah.
Yeah, that's the big one now. Alton's taken a little bit of a back burner.
Already?
Well, the live Facebook video is really powerful.
compelling.
More people are going to do that. Start doing that. But yeah, I just can't. I can't envision the scenario where I'm shot at the hands of the police and my parents are on CNN the next day talking about
Right.
evil cops and all that. I imagine I can see Chris Cuomo calling or Don Lemon calling my dad, my mom, and saying, yeah, we want to talk to you about these racist police and shit that are murdering all your people and your kid. And my parents would go, yeah, go fuck yourself. No, we're not doing that. I mean, we're going to mourn our son and do all that shit, but no, we will not be appearing on the news live via satellite.
Via. Mourn our son Philando.
Yeah.
Philando and Lavish.
Philando. It's an awesome name, right? Philando and Lavish.
Possibly inspired by the Star Wars character Lando Calrissian.
You think? You think that's
Maybe.
possibly what it was?
I don't know.
Trying to think how you get there. I'm assuming his dad was Phil and was just like, nah, he's gonna be Phil Part 2, of course. It's Phil Castillo Part
His
2.
mom was a huge Empire Strikes Back fan.
She had a thing for what was Lando's actual name? Billy D.
Billy D.
She
Williams.
had a big old Billy D. Williams crush.
Huge Colt 45 drinker.
She's like, no, we're naming him Lando. Nah, man, bitch, shit. My name is Phil. He's gonna be Phil Jr. Phil the Third, like me, named after my father, Phil.
We're gonna make up a sound now. Are you ready? Philando.
Shit. Wait. Now, where you get Philando? I appreciate you putting Phil in there, but where you getting Lando? Is that from Calrissian? You still got a thing for Calrissian, don't you? But then he was like, fuck it. This is a losing battle. She's really digging the Billy D. Williams mustache. She's a huge fan of Colt 45.
Philando it is.
Philando it is. And there you go.
That's total speculation, but
we have no idea. But Lavish is a whole other story. But anyway.
Talk about that one tomorrow.
Sure.
This segment,
More
Mike,
appropriate tomorrow,
is brought to you by Mayer and Company Accountants. If you dread bookkeeping and accounting for your business as much as you dread encountering a swan on a lake, let Kyle Mayer handle it all for you. Kyle's a pro who you can trust, so spend more time on your core business and leave those awful, annoying accounting and bookkeeping tasks to Kyle. Call him today at 248-521-0016. Tell him the Detroit Cast sent you, and he'll give you 10% off.
Guns N' Roses were in Cincinnati yesterday.
Cincinnati,
yes. As they're making their way around the country to rave reviews. They're still getting rave reviews. I was reading an interview with Slash the other day. I think he talked to I think Joey Kramer's got a radio show or something. The old drummer for Aerosmith, and he was talking to him on his Boston radio show. And Slash was like, "Yeah, it's kind of surprising all of us. We're all getting along really well." And
nice.
So far,
Axl's
so
voice
good.
is still holding up.
Yeah,
Good.
and he's going to go back out on tour with AC/DC once this Guns run is done in August. I think in San Diego is where they wrap that tour up. But
Cool.
yeah, but last night, how cool is this? Steven Adler joined them on stage.
Yeah. Carmine Appice, when we talked to him, he confirmed Adler can still do it.
Yeah.
And we sort of, you sure? Sure he could do it?
Yeah, and I understand what Carmine is saying, that, hey, none of the Guns material is terribly difficult, but there is a huge difference between the, Appetite album drum work and Use Your Illusion and beyond. Like, there's just not, whether he could wing it and get through that, maybe. But Steven Adler's, he's a pretty solid, just like rock drummer, but he's not an accomplished musician.
So he's stuck strictly then to Appetite?
I would think that he could pull that out, and I think he does that now. I think that's what he does. Is he's got at one point I think there was someone that was playing like GNR tracks without a drum track, and then he would just be like in a bar, is like, "Come see Steven Adler play guns," and he'd just like play along to Paradise City and shit, like karaoke for the drums.
Holy shit!
I thought that's what he was doing years ago. I don't know if he's with the band now or what, but I know he was doing that at one point. But anyway, he jumped on stage with them last night in Cincinnati. First time he's played with them since 1990 as like a band.
Mm-hmm.
He did get up and jam with most of them.
The Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and what was that, 2012? I think they
so.
went into the hall. And
of course, Axl didn't show for that.
Yeah, which is kind of lame, but a lot of guys do that. They're like, oh, fuck the Hall of Fame. So he came out and did Out to Get Me and My Michelle. I don't think
neither of which was played in Detroit.
Yeah.
I don't believe. Definitely not My Michelle.
I don't think Out to Get Me was either. Both great songs from The Appetite for Destruction. Now, you want to see a minute of it?
Sure.
Of Adler? Have you seen him lately?
I know he had the stroke.
Yeah. Stroke is a rough one, man.
Yeah, let's check him out.
Out and laying low. God, that looks badass, doesn't it?
I think Axl would be wise to continue that look with the just bandana.
Yep.
I think he looked weird a lot of times when we saw him with different hats on and shit.
Totally agree. Yeah, that bandana look works. Jeans, t-shirt, bandana.
Throw a kilt on even. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have this great nostalgia for Steven Adler.
Really?
Yeah. I could give a shit about him, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I do. I liked Steven Adler just as like that whole core group of GNR. Like you get Izzy Stradlin.
I'd rather
like,
see Izzy there than Steven Adler.
Izzy's badass, no doubt about it. But I think there's something special about Axl Duff / Steven and Izzy being in the same room. Fuck Dizzy Reed, no offense.
Yeah, I know. They always meant, well, Dizzy Reed was so what? Whatever.
Yeah. Okay, he's a keyboard player. He wasn't a part of the original lineup.
No.
Whatever. You get that gritty, dirty club era Guns N' Roses band. You can picture them playing at Cantor's or something, and hanging out in the shit bars in L.A. and playing just long before you thought about a stage setup or keyboards in a band. I mean that was awesome. That's a cool, definitely a cool era to think about. But that's kind of cool. I guess there was talk that what did they say that he was having some medical issues, and that's what his absence. LA Weekly had reported when because the speculation was, are they gonna have Steven Adler? We talked about it. Was due to a medical issue. A source close to the band said that Adler is having back surgery. I've also been told he's not ready to tour with GNR, not yet, and maybe not ever.
Does that mean he's going to continue on? Do we know, or was this just a cameo?
Yeah,
I
it seems
it's a cameo. If he only did a couple songs.
Yeah. And why in Cincinnati? That seems weird. I mean, he's in L.A. Like, it would make sense if when they got to the home shows in Los Angeles and even San Diego, it's like, let's have Steven pop down and jump on. Like, but Cincinnati? Who knows? Anyway, there's more talk of those goddamn Swedish festivals.
If you are a chick in Sweden, I think you stay away from the music festival. I know. I was thinking about her. The girl, we called a couple girls in Sweden.
Yeah,
that
but
day,
the
right?
one particularly, I think.
I sent her a message. I try to talk to her again. What was it? Why is her name escaping me right now?
Very Swedish.
Vanka. I mean,
it was very Swedish. Yeah, she's a young girl. I think she was like 17 or something. I follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, of course, this is the chick we called just randomly call a Swede.
Yeah.
And she answered. She giggled a lot.
She did. Yeah. She was fun. But anyway, the Sweden's biggest music festival, you would love this. One of these.
The fingering part or the music part?
Probably the music part.
Would a Syrian refugee finger E?
Probably not.
Maybe.
Why would they? They'd have all these Sweden girls to finger.
Yeah,
I don't know. You're fingerable though.
He'd make a good chai boy, wouldn't
he?
Yeah. Anyway, a mob of foreign youths sexually assaulted, they say, 35 females at another concert. So there were a couple concerts going on, big events in Sweden, and apparently there was a lot of fingering and kitty grabbing going on that nobody wants to talk about. Victims at the Bråvalla Music Festival told police groups of men attacked them, while others complained they were filmed while using the toilets. That sucks.
Why is that hot? I've never, ever understood why it's hot. We've talked on this show before, having said that. So
I don't know, man.
An anti-rape activist said she was even sexually assaulted by the three men. The one we were talking about yesterday, they were wearing "Don't Grope" bracelets, which is interesting. I like
assume that would mean like that. Like they would know then, okay, don't grope these people.
So this is a reminder. They've got to oh shit, no, not allowed to do that with that hand.
Yeah, that is hilarious to me. Like, talk about funds being raised, like a committee.
Yeah.
And like, what are we going to do to stop these guys just indiscriminately fingering our women?
We need to get the word out to all of them that it's inappropriate.
How do we
give them a bracelet? It'll remind them, a daily reminder.
Wait, where? So wait.
Remember, it's not these young gentlemen's fault.
No,
they're from a different culture. They don't know how to react.
They're from a different era in time.
Oh shit!
They've come to us through a time machine. They are literally cavemen.
So we need to tell them not to finger indiscriminately just random women they see. And so you're saying we could get bracelets made up, hand them out. That'll help the problem. And so these dudes are wearing their "Don't Grope" bracelets and still just fingering vagines.
Doesn't even matter, despite the bracelet.
Listen.
Not even the bracelet could stop it.
I know.
The urge was too strong for the bracelet. It's tough.
I mean, I want to figure her, but she's wearing a bracelet. I don't know what to do.
This one chick, Listen Florman, was saying that I was standing at the back of the audience during a concert.
Listen Florman?
Yeah, Listen Florman. God damn it. Would you listen, Florman? So she's standing at the back. My friends were a bit further away from me when three tall men came up to me. They were much taller than me and started hugging me, even though I did not want them to. They started grabbing my titties very roughly. They started squeezing titties. I was asking them to stop, but they only left after my friends saw that something was wrong, and they came up to me. The ironic thing was that they were wearing the police bracelet with the text "Don't Grope." There was one report of an attempted rape and 15 cases of sexual assault. Two of the victims said a man started jacking it in front of them.
Oh, boy.
God.
Is that the end of the world, though?
You know
I mean,
what, though?
a guy's jacking it in front of you. Can't you just point and laugh? I mean, as long as it doesn't get on you and they don't touch you.
And at least that guy had an end game. You know, I've talked about it before. What is the end game to all these guys?
Yeah.
Throwing it in the spank bank or what? I walked up and grabbed a titty.
Yeah.
Or I walked up and fingered a random vagine at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
At least this guy, you know, he was going to get off, man. He was going to blow the load.
Yeah, I would think you'd have to almost get yourself to the edge before you...
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to take 7 to 9 minutes to stand there and whack yourself in front of a bunch of chicks?
It seems anticlimactic. Like, once you've seen it, like, I get it. If the guy's in the Porta-John and he's just working himself up,
He's like, I'm almost there.
And he starts to get to his countdown. He knows within 10 seconds the bomb is going off, and he kicks that fucking door open and is just like, yeah! And then just starts throwing everywhere. Like, at least you could give that guy a round of applause. Like, he knew when his time was up. But yeah, to just like pull your pants down in the middle of a crowd and just start fucking... You're a monkey at that point. You're a monkey.
Dude,
Right, the odds of the finish are very low at that point. You're going to be tackled, stopped in some way, right?
You would think. I wouldn't tackle him. I'm totally hands off that. I might laugh. I think it's more likely
Maybe
the cameras
kick
go up.
at him at best. Kick
Yeah.
at his hand, try to separate the hand from the panoose.
Stop it, you! Stop!
I think it's a better move.
No!
I could see you doing that. Me personally, I think I'm standing back just going, oh, this is fuck. I can't wait to show Jay this. He's going to love this.
You're going to film
And
it in
start
landscape, right?
Oh, absolutely. Did you notice I turned
Yes,
my
I
paper
did.
sideways? 'Cause I'm absolutely filming that in landscape. Like, no, carry on, sir. Carry on. Do your thing. I got 9 minutes. Do your thing. Police have faced criticism for failing to do enough to protect the 52,000 people that were at this festival. The police spokesman, Thomas Agnevig, said he understands the criticism. If a crime is being committed, obviously not enough has been done. Nobody should have to go to a concert and leave as a rape victim. I agree with him on that. He said police are almost powerless to protect festival goers, though. They say that it's dark, it's loud.
Dude.
Scream all you want, nobody will hear you.
You know
Groups
what's
of people.
You know, I mean, I guess I can't say that it didn't happen, but it is, dude. It's definitely these people.
Did
and
you
they're
get fingered?
No, but I'm saying, like, dude, there's so
Would
many
you tell us
people.
if he did?
I don't know.
No,
dude.
he
See, okay,
My
so
point
he
is I
says
can
he didn't
s-
get fingered.
my-
He
For
says
the
he didn't
record,
get fingered.
if I went to the
amazing,
GNR
my-
show and I was on the floor and some guy fingered me, I would absolutely tell you.
Thank
I
you,
have
yeah.
to get that off my
Yeah.
chest.
But E wouldn't apparently, so we don't
I
really know
don't
what
know,
happened
just
Actually, not
push
to say
that
that.
way down. We'll deal with that at another time and place.
with all that other stuff.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe I would. Who knows? But
I don't think you would.
What was your point?
my point was, I guess it's I don't know. It's just amazing to me how we can have these exact same festivals and not have any issues whatsoever. Girls with their tits out, girls half naked, left and right, and yet
Well-
we can somehow avoid fingering people. I was able to do it somehow.
I have seen videos though where chicks are like
Crowd surfing.
crowd surfing
Well,
with their
crowd surfing's
and
a
their
little-
tits come out and then it's just like just hands
you shouldn't be.
galore.
Crowd surfing is a little. You're kind of putting yourself in a different position there.
Oh,
because
E,
you,
blaming the victim.
Yeah.
You are in a
It's typical.
situation where you know you're going to be touched no matter what. In the best case, you're being touched in the ass and your back. Like, I mean, best case.
Pretty typical.
The police said the victims are mostly young women under the age of 18. I won't comment about their background, but they're young boys. So they're talking about the guys that are doing the fingering and groping, and they said
Won't comment about their
we're
background
not
or
gonna-
ethnicity.
comment about their background, but we will say they're young. Yeah, they just don't want to say migrants, immigrants. They don't want to say it. Mumford and Sons was the headlining act, and they said that we're not playing the festival again until they receive receive assurances from police and organizers that they are doing something to combat disgustingly high rates of reported sexual violence. Well, again, okay, well then stop the migration process that's going on because the police are right. What do you do in a venue with 50,000 people? It's pitch dark, and people are like, why doesn't anyone else jump in and do something? When you see some guy fingering a chick that doesn't want to be fingered, it's because they run in wolf packs, and they surround someone. They seek out a sheep amongst the pack, and then fucking 8 guys surround them, and all of a sudden it's the fingering is on.
Yeah.
And you're left to pick up the and then they scatter. And all you have is, I don't know, they didn't speak the language and they were immigrants. What do you want me to say? And I got fingered. My vagine was fingered. God damn it.
Dirty finger.
Oh, filthy finger.
Filthy.
Just awful. Probably, God knows how many vagines it touched that night that didn't want to be touched.
God, the bacteria that can be underneath the fingernails.
Fingernail, you just figure that the dirt that's flying around at those things. I mean, look at E's fingernails. Would you want to be fingered by E? Absolutely
For the record,
disgusting.
no. For the record, no.
This is rhetorical to you. I'm assuming you don't want to be fingered by E.
Whether my fingernails were gross or not, I don't think he'd want to be fingered by
Yeah.
me.
Let me see
To
them,
be
Let me
fair,
see.
they're not
Let me see.
terrible today.
No, they're not too bad. But
That was a true statement, E. Even with the most
I mean,
well-manicured
if I would have got a mani
fingers.
pedi yesterday, would you still want to, like, with the
Yeah.
question chain?
Neither
answer-
fingered nor toed.
If that was my only option, though, look, it's happening. You getting fingered by E. You're in a vulnerable position. E's taking full advantage.
Yes, I would rather have a well-manicured E.
Mani-pedied E.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had to do that, take advantage of our vulnerable state.
If you had to be fingered or toed by E, which
Trust
one?
me, it's fingered. My toes are disgusting.
I can imagine.
Your hands are disgusting.
My
They've been
toes
on
are
your dick.
disgusting.
They've been in your mouth. They've been in your nose.
I venture to say his feet are way cleaner than his hands.
They're not.
I think so, too.
E or Mike, I think you'd rather have that big toe up your ass than that thumb.
I'm just gonna tell you no.
Why? What are you doing with your toes?
I have some situations going on.
Wait, what do you got? Fungus?
I got something going on down on my toes.
Should we see it?
Let me
Let
see.
me let's see what you got going on, you son of a bitch.
Oh, for good.
Come on.
Oh, damn it. I don't even like
Well,
to
look
show
at those
people these.
socks. Those you've been wearing those
That has
for
nothing to
4
do with
straight
it.
days,
That has
and they're
nothing to do with it.
absolutely
I-
filthy.
For the record, I hate showing this. I avoid
Come
showing
on,
my
E.
toes to anybody at all costs, by the way.
Oh my fucking god! Holy shit! Oh my dude! Oh my god!
I'd rather
no
be fingered.
bullshit! No bullshit! I am not overreacting. Those are the most disgusting fucking toenails I've ever seen. Holy shit, man!
Here's what happened.
What the? That's like a monster. That's a horror movie
That's
monster.
a wizard. That's
what
like one of those
Here's what
800-year-old
happened.
wizards.
I'll tell you what.
Oh my god!
I'll tell you what happened.
Dude!
I'll tell you what happened.
Oh, E!
I'm not showing that on the camera. I'll tell you
we
what
have to get a picture of that. E.
I'll
We
show you.
have
I'll tell
to.
you what happened. Here's what happened.
He's right though. I'd rather be fingered by his hand than his foot.
Yes.
I mean, in
They
fairness.
got hardcore a few years ago. They got hardcore, like I stubbed my toes or some shit, and to the point where it hurt to cut them. So then I didn't cut them, and then they just got to this point where now they're like they got shit inside of them, so I can't cut them. So like I can trim them mildly, but I can't cut them and make them look normal.
That is fucked up, dude.
I know. I've actually gone to a doctor about it, and it didn't really. Nothing really changed.
They're all ingrown and shit. Like you can't even.
I don't even know what
They're discolored.
I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, it's troubling.
They're talons.
I know.
They're,
I don't know what to do with them.
Fuck. E.
It's one of my biggest things right now that I'm just ignoring and hoping it somehow is just whatever.
I'm not bullshitting. I have never seen grosser feet than that.
Yeah, it's pretty
I don't
bad.
even know what to do about them. I just let.
Well, what you're
it's only
supposed to
on-
do about it is take a picture of it. We put it on social media, and then we
Let others decide. Whether
let others, tell you like, oh, what you're dealing with, this is common.
Yeah, don't
actually
worry
went
about
to-
Quick
it.
shot will clear this. I'm sure people will be polite.
I
help
actually
you
went
out.
to I actually went to the doctor even one time, and they gave me some stuff where I was supposed to like rub on them, and it didn't seem to like really work.
Oh,
I need to maybe go back again.
maybe.
I should never have said anything. I should never have
No,
said anything.
I'm glad you did. I'm
Yeah.
glad this is going to help in the long run. We're going to be able to post some images online and then get you some real help.
So I don't know what to do about them, and I'm like I'm telling you, it's my biggest thing right now that I'm just avoiding and hoping it just goes away somehow. Or
Can you
That
just
was
see
like-
a little glimpse one more time?
Just a little one.
Are both feet the same?
well, the thing is, it's only like certain
Let's
toes.
see the right one now. We saw the left.
It's only certain toes.
The
'cause I
one
think
with the gray
I think this
sock,
one
not
has
the
a
blue
normal. I think a few of these are normal. I think that one's worse. I think there's a few normal ones on here. Like, see, these are like this
Fuck
one's okay.
E.
This one's okay.
Damn, dude, that's not okay.
Let me see the other one
A
again.
few
Let me
of them
see
are
those
okay.
bird
I said
talons.
one or two
Fuck.
of them are okay. I said.
Yeah, two of them are okay.
I should never have said this.
Let
I
me
should
see the
never
left
have
one. E.
disclosed
Let's
this.
just take a gander at that again. Let me see that
Come
one
on.
really quick. Don't put your foot on anything.
Should never have disclosed this.
Oh my god. They're like triangles. They're lifted off his toes.
They're a weird shade of gray that I didn't know existed.
They're
I don't know what to
misshapen.
do
They're
about it.
miscolored.
The problem is I don't know what to do about it. What happened? I'm telling you. What
How
happened?
do you run? Doesn't it hurt?
No, I'm telling you what happened was I just hardcore like
You didn't
drilled
stub
one.
all your feet at the all your toes at the same time.
Yeah,
that
that
didn't
doesn't-
happen.
Something happened to
You got
them.
super lazy and you didn't clip them, and now they're all ingrown and shitty.
Maybe.
Go to a podiatrist and have them start to work on that. Get the sanding belt out.
Yeah, I'm thinking amputation.
It's not. I think you got to have them looked at. That's not normal, man.
I know.
No,
I don't
it's-
know what to do about it.
Those are unhealthy feet.
I know they are. I'm very embarrassed by them, so I don't know what to do. So I just leave them and I do trim them.
Yeah, you should be ashamed
like
of
once
those.
every.
Shame on you.
I am.
Shame on you.
Your phalanges. Fuck.
No. We don't want to shame anybody.
I'm
we don't
really
want to put anybody on
regretting
the spot.
showing these off
If it
now
looks funny, we
because
go over
I
the
don't
place.
think about them anymore. They're out of sight, out of mind.
You need to have those looked at. They deserve attention.
Do we have a doctor that listens to this show?
Yeah, we've got a doctor.
Do we have a
Remember he was
though. It
podiatrist?
needs
Did
to
he
be a
recommend a
foot
good
doctor.
podiatrist? Can we film that? Would the doctor let us film that?
Probably not.
Fuck E. I didn't think it could get worse. I didn't.
Dude, I thought they were just going to be like dirt
Yeah.
underneath them. Like, oh my God,
no,
he
I
needs
knew,
a trim.
I should never have said anything. I should have left that alone. Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I'm using the Rolodex in my head, the microfiche in my head, to think of like monsters throughout history that you go like. I coming up with Michael Jackson. We did Thriller. Remember he had those yellow giant nails coming out.
Yeah.
but it's not that.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm
what's
trying to
up
think
on
of,
them
like-
either.
It's almost like Tyrannosaurus Rex feet or something.
I guess you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll find a podiatrist and go. I guess I don't know. I did go to a doctor at one point, like I said, and and they kind of just gave me some stuff to rub on them. Like they told me to just file them down and rub this like stuff on them, and I
Yeah,
did that.
these
and
need
it
to be
didn't-
immersed. They need attention, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be immersed. They need to
don't know
be
what to-
sanded down. They need surgery.
Maybe.
Those are
I'm
so
not-
ingrown and fucked.
I'm
man.
not touching them, dude. I just deal with it then. I mean,
Either your feet. Like you need your feet, man.
I mean,
You're
I'm
38
30
years old. You're
exactly.
halfway
I've got,
done.
That's my point. I've made it enough that.
Oh my god, you too.
I'm not getting
you two in your I could die tomorrow and it'd be a good long life. Are you kidding me? You're halfway.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to get surgery though.
a little over
I'd
halfway.
go. I'd go if there was like I'd do something about it. I'm not going to do surgery.
I don't. From
Get him looked at.
I'll get him
I'm
looked
worried
at.
about you.
I'll set up something. Oh,
Deeply concerned.
Never said anything.
It's summertime, and you know what that means. Trips up north to enjoy barbecues, beers, bikinis, and flip-flops. Do you want to travel up north in style? You know, we've never seen Ian flip-flops.
Do you wear
come to think of
shoes
it.
and socks to the beach? You have to.
Yeah, what do you do when you go kayaking and
when
shit?
you go to the pool in Vegas?
Fuck, yes.
He was in the pool
He goes
in
to
Vegas.
those pool parties trying to pick up chicks.
No, what I did was I did wear sandals, but I kind of just like it's the only time I'll ever wear sandals is in Vegas. Even like I won't even around normal places. I just won't. Just don't go.
Did anyone say anything?
Dude, you just wait. You just try to get it because most people don't stare down at your feet. So if you could
just,
just
like,
get yourself
quickly
into
get in the
pool,
water?
if you get yourself into the pool.
Oh, fuck. You know, the things you take for granted, you're just
Yeah.
like, my feet. You know, you never think twice about your feet.
Yeah.
You got this load having to think about his head, his hair, his gut, his feet, the whole package. It's just embarrassing.
I don't take my socks off when I when with a girl.
Do you want to travel up north in style? Well, hell yes, you do. So get your soon-to-be sunburned self to Zott Ford at I-75 and exit 98 to take advantage of their super sizzling savings. Right now, and only at Zott Ford and Holly, you can lease a new 16 Ford Explorer for as low as $262 a month with only $1,000 out of pocket. We were talking about the #1 SUV in Detroit, the Ford Explorer, for just $262 a month. Check out their smoking hot deals and massive
I don't
inventory
even
at
want this show
ZottFord.com.
to end because I don't want to turn the mics off and then also have to be ridiculed for my toes and actually have to be talked to about it.
Yeah.
I just
No,
want
this needs attention.
Yeah, your father, Jay.
We're not just brushing this under the rug. It needs attention.
Yeah. What most people don't realize, well, maybe some do, but when E's not at home and dealing with Mike Fady, Jay kind of assumes the role of parental figure for Big E. And so when advice is given or directives are given, it's Jay that hands it down like a father would, and E usually, yes, sir, I know, I'm sorry, yep, I'll do better.
Dude, I know, fuck.
Dude, you're right. I think he's even
I
slipped
know,
up
I
and
shouldn't have
called you
stuck it
dad
in
a
there.
time or
Fuck,
two.
dude, I know.
Dude, whatever.
I guess
I know. No, you're right, dude. You're right.
I
So
don't know.
E is
I
what
know.
E is referencing is he knows that his
Like, it's not gonna end with
his
this
substitute
isn't a show
father is
thing.
going to lay into him once these mics
once
come
these,
off.
yeah.
The show isn't gonna end for me. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be worse. I'd
The
rather keep
beginning's
talking.
just beginning,
Right.
so-
I'd rather just keep talking. Can we just go on all weekend?
We have some email. Should I like to get
So
some email?
soon?
Do you want to talk about Matt Damon really quick, or
Oh,
should we just
sure.
get to email?
No.
Yeah, Jason Bourne. Is that movie out?
No, it comes out in August.
I like those movies, man.
Dude, I'm a big fan too, right?
Yeah.
I liked all of them.
Yeah.
Like, what were there, 4?
I think there were 3. Well,
Three
the
with-
fourth one wasn't with him, though. It was a spin-off of the Bourne.
Yeah. And that wasn't terrible. I
Yeah, it
think
was
I have
pretty
that
good.
movie. They weren't bad, but he's doing the Jason Bourne movie again, and later this month. And so he's over in Australia promoting the film. And
Australia.
Australia. Is that how it's supposed to be?
Yeah. What happened to our the band Fidget, by the way? We haven't heard from those cats.
Oh, they probably got huge drug habits once they hit the road.
Yeah.
They've flamed out.
Speaking of
Yeah.
Australia.
So anyway, over the weekend, he called for a ban on guns in the United States.
Well.
He was talking to a reporter from the Sydney Morning Herald, and Damon said, "You guys did it here in one fell swoop, and I wish that could happen in my country, but it's such a personal issue for people that we cannot talk about it sensibly. We just can't. People get so emotional that even when you make a suggestion about not selling AK-47s to people on terror watch lists, it's a non-starter. I don't know what needs to happen. Obviously, mass shootings aren't going to do it. There have been so many of them at this point. Sandy Hook, when those children were murdered, if that didn't do it, I just don't know. Maybe we just need to evolve further before we can have that conversation. I don't know." And you hear this come up a lot. Well, Australia did it. They banned guns, and they've never had a mass shooting since, what is it, Port, what was the name of the big shooting
Yeah, it was
there?
a tourist destination where like 35 people got gunned
Port
down.
Arthur. The Port Arthur massacre in 96, where, 28 or 35 people were killed. 35 people were killed, wounded 23 others. And the prime minister at the time proposed this new bill and received, on both sides bipartisan support. And so they did this. And so everybody points to that as like, well, look what Australia's done. They've been able to ban guns and make it work. But there are some big differences between the two. And I was reading an article by a guy out of Minnesota. And he kind of breaks down the whole Australia versus U.S. gun issue and whether or not that would work. For what it's worth, and his story goes, after any mass shooting, people will invoke the name of Australia and raise the question, can Australia's gun control laws be a model for the U.S.? Australia outlawed semi-automatic rifles, certain categories of shotgun, and implemented strict licensing and registration requirements. The cornerstone of its new gun control scheme, however, was a massive gun buyback program. The government purchased 650,000 to 1 million guns with funds raised via a special tax. The paradigm became popular in the wake of Newtown and in Connecticut school shootings in 2012. USA Today, ABC News, The Washington Post were among the outlets that published articles urging Americans to look closely at the actions Australia took after their similar tragedy. These articles all point to the reduction in the rate of gun deaths. This policy is a gun buyback program which removed up to 1 million weapons from Australians' homes and hands and homes.
What do we have, 500 million of them out there?
310 million.
Gotcha.
The crucial fact they omit is that the buyback program was mandatory. So it wasn't just an offer that we'll buy back your guns. Personally, when they've talked about these buyback programs too, where it's like, what? Okay, what are you going to give me for my gun? $200?
Right.
I paid $1,000 for it. Why would I do that? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Even if they gave me $800 for it, it's not enough. The crucial fact they omit is it was mandatory. Australia's vaunted gun buyback program was, in fact, a sweeping program of gun confiscation. Only the articles from USA Today and the Washington Post cited this crucial information. It's the most important detail about the main provision of Australia's gun laws that pundits ignore. You simply cannot praise Australia's gun laws without praising the country's mass confiscation program. That is Australia's law. And when the left says that we should respond to shootings as Australia did, they don't mean that we should institute background checks on private sales. They mean that we should ban and confiscate guns. Never going to happen in this country. Gun confiscation is not happening in the United States anytime soon, but let's suppose it did. How would it work? Australia's program netted at the low end 650,000 guns, at the high end 1 million. They said that was approximately a fifth to a third of their firearms. There are about as many guns in America as there are people, so about 320 million. A third would be between 60 and 105 million guns. To achieve in America what was done in Australia, the government would have to confiscate as many as 105 million firearms. How do you take 60 to 105 million firearms from 105 to 160 million Americans? The answer to that question is the answer to the question of whether the Australian example really is valid for America after all. If the experience of blue states, which introduced gun regulations, is any question, and then they go on to talk about how New York and Connecticut have super strict gun laws and possession of sales after the Sandy Hook incident. Among these are requirements for the registration of so-called assault rifles in both states and in New York's ban on high-capacity magazines. Regardless of when they were manufactured or purchased, compliance with the registration requirement has been modest at best. Hundreds of thousands of gun owners in both states refuse to register their weapons. So far, then, the laws have been most successful in creating hundreds of thousands of lawbreakers who feel obligated to just break the law. So they're not even doing what they're supposed to. In New York, if New York and Connecticut won't go along, what do Democrats expect would happen in red states? New York and Connecticut are two of the bluest states in the union, states with staunchly liberal Democratic governors and legislators, dominated by Democrats and Northeastern Republicans who vote for gun control. Yet the residents of these states have refused to go along with the kinds of laws that gun control advocates view as minimum for what they would like to see adopted at the federal level.
Of course, man. It's never going to happen here. I mean, the Second Amendment's the fabric of our country.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So intertwined. Guns are so intertwined with us, whereas it wasn't with them, and it was a lot easier to do.
Yeah.
And you just talk about the sheer volume, and it's much easier.
It turns into a talking point and an easy way to point fingers at people. I'm not saying there shouldn't be better gun laws. I think we can all look at things and go, yeah, that seems fucked up that people would.
Well, that's what Damon said wasn't so outlandish if he would have stopped short of saying all guns should be outlawed. I mean, he's saying there should be some potentially reasonable limits given what we've seen recently. We've talked about.
Fuck.
What's wrong? You need some water?
No, I'm good. I mean, I've talked in those terms just as Matt Damon has, but I've not said guns should be outlawed. That's unrealistic and stupid, and they shouldn't be.
Or pointing to them and say, well, you guys got it right. We could do that in America. And even people in Australia, leaders in Australia, go, yeah, that's the fabric of American culture. Like, you can't. That's like the makeup of their constitution. It wasn't that way in Australia. It made it much easier to implement something like that in Australia, which you just couldn't do in America. Anyway, I found it mildly interesting. How are we doing for email?
We do have some email, Mike.
What do we got?
We are now being offered...
Anything on East Toes?
I do not want to talk about that
Well,
anymore. I really wish I had not brought that up.
I'd be shocked if there wasn't some serious email coming in about your toes.
I mean, this is an important issue.
I really wish I had not showed that.
Just relax, okay?
I'm fine.
We are being offered now disposable umbilical cord clamps via our spamming medical equipment company and sales manager, Mona Chen.
Yeah.
You might remember Mona Chen.
Sure.
Dear sirs, it is glad to write you with keen hope to open a business relationship with you. I think Mona Chen might be from China.
Okay.
I obtained your company
Very
name
good.
and email address from the internet.
From the internet, huh?
The World Wide Web.
Very good.
Zhang Zhao Wu Wang Medical Equipment Company Limited is a factory specialized in disposable medical products, including disposable umbilical cord clamps. So we have a chance if we want to call Mona Chen to get some of those.
What kind of market is there for disposable umbilical cord clamps?
Mike, they're necessary.
Okay.
Every time a baby is born and an umbilical cord needs to be clamped, think about it.
All right. Well, you deal with Mona Chen. I'm dealing with this prince out of Africa that's... he and I have been having
it sounds
extreme
promising.
correspondence. I mean, it turns out this guy, I don't know what kind of shit his government's fucking with him, but he's got like $20 million and he's willing to split it with me. If I just, give him a bank account to deposit it in.
Definitely close the loop on that. That sounds very promising.
Dude, I've been trying for months. I've been trying, like back and forth, and he's like, yeah, I'm on it. I got tied up at the whatever, and the State Department's after me, and this. It's going to work out, though. He's a good dude, man.
Good.
I've sent him a few bucks just to, get the ball rolling. I've had to send him a few $100 here and there, but...
Gave him your bank account number?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, yeah. So...
Well, pursuant to E's request yesterday, I did follow up with Mona Chen about the rectal tubes.
Yeah.
So get some disposable rectal tubes and maybe some umbilical cord clamps.
Good.
Mark writes in, ask E hotel etiquette question. Filthy EDM geezer. I'm on a business trip in Calgary, staying at the Hyatt Regency. Knowing E's enthusiasm for hotels, I need advice. I got back to my room after a productive day of producing results for my company and income for my family.
Gotta have those results. The numbers are up, are they?
I went to put a water bottle in the fridge and noticed a 3/4 full bottle of Crown Royal in the fridge, left from the last guest. Do I dare drink it, or do I assume he pissed in it? Worth the risk? Mark.
See, the problem is I don't drink liquor, so I would never see a half-empty Bud Light and be like, oh, this person just left half a Bud Light. But Crown Royal, if I drank Crown Royal and I saw that, dude, I'm taking it. I leave alcohol all the time in hotels because I don't feel like friggin'. I buy a case for the 2 nights I'm there or something, and I don't drink them all, and I'm just like, fuck, I'm not carrying these all. You gotta get them, they're warm, blah, blah, blah.
Don't you think you would know the normal color if you're a
Crown Royal has
drinker?
a very... Dude, you've seen piss before. I know we haven't all put it in a bottle and drank it, but you've seen what it looks like before.
I think it would drastically lighten that Crown Royal.
Yeah,
if it had any significant amount of piss in it. But it could just have a little drip.
Yeah, which would still suck.
I always go by the likelihood.
I think go for it. The alcohol will kill any germs in there.
Yeah,
You're fine.
exactly.
Drink it.
What is the likelihood that some dude sat there and pissed in his Crown Royal, hoping that the next person coming by, I don't know.
Heard stranger things.
I used to go around after pissing games and shit and just eat pizzas off the floor and and just be like, what's someone gonna poison this?
Why am I surprised by his feet? Why?
Yeah. You used to do that with popcorn too, didn't you?
I still do that with popcorn. If I'm walking out of the Tiger game and there's like a half thing of popcorn, I'll just pick it up and start eating it, dude. Like if I'm hungry. Like what's I'm gonna do? Like
jack off in it.
Maybe.
Hoping for the Big E to walk by and eat it.
There's a new Purge movie out. The premise of these movies is there's one day during the year where you can commit any crime with no consequence.
Including murder.
Yeah. So E had an interesting tweet yesterday that was pointed out by a listener. If the Purge was real, I would be so scared of all the men that would rape me.
I said that out? Really? Can I see the ad?
That's a curious tweet, Big E.
What?
Did you send that out? Wait.
What?
That's a legit tweet by Big E.
Is that from a verified account?
Wait, if the Purge was real, I would be so scared of all the men that would rape me.
What?
It's got 5 likes.
Got a retweet, right?
Is that real, E? Did you send that out?
That's legit, man.
That's legit as shit.
God damn it, E.
No, it was not me. Someone did a really good job at photoshopping my Twitter, I guess. But because that definitely wasn't.
And we've got a couple waves I wanted to point out. We have Howard, the Walmart greeter, asks an interesting question. What should a married dude do?
Hello. Hi, Mrs. Fady. Here's a question for you married guys out there. The lovely and talented Mrs. Walmart greeter is out with the neighborhood ladies at a campfire in the neighborhood here, drinking red wine and eating bonbons, whatever shit women do, talking bad about the men, probably. So what do I do? It's about 10:30, 10:45 at night. Do I go right to sleep? Got to get up early in the morning. Do I wait for some potential drunken closet congress?
Yes.
Or do I go jerk off because everybody else in the house is sleeping and I can actually have the sound on with the porn that I watch this time? What should dude do?
Yeah, you wait. You wait for the return of your drunk wife.
How long do you wait? Did you give her an hour?
Yeah.
Luckily, this advice is coming in a timely fashion. Because it happened last night. Never mind.
No, yeah, right. Sorry we couldn't provide you an immediate response to this, Howard.
Yeah.
No, I think it's unquestionable. You wait. It's 10:30. Yeah, give it an hour for sure.
Yeah.
God, you're just sitting there waiting.
And then, I mean, is there much better than you sober, wife drunk sex?
No, that's pretty good.
I mean, drunk on drunk sex, yeah, fun as hell.
Amazing, yep.
But
very, very fun.
Shit. You sober, wife drunk sex?
What's better, you drunk, her sober?
No.
Or you like her drunk, you sober?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, sounds like they taking advantage of it.
Yeah, that's called rape, sir.
Right, wow.
Don't pull that move in California.
There's full consent.
She can't consent. That's the whole problem with that, is when they're drunk.
She's not fucking like sloppy, like passing out drunk.
That's not what the rules said and the law said in California. If they're drunk, that's why I said I've raped hundreds of girls.
I don't live in
I've
California.
Well, it's sweeping the nation, sir.
No way, man.
These
chimes
poor
in.
defenseless animals can't take care of themselves. Wounded birds everywhere.
No way, man chimes in with a poop story.
Yeah, on the subject of shitting your pants, I was in a similar situation one time, more like sharting my pants. But I was at work, hungover as shit, walked to get tacos for lunch. While in line for said tacos, I tried to push one out, squirted a little bit of shart juice out, headed back to work, waddled my ass back to work, cleaned up, threw my underwear in the trash, walked back out, got the tacos, and had a great lunch. Biggie, you're not alone. It's all good.
I had no idea this was so prevalent. This discarding of underwear. I mean, above a ceiling tile, in the corner, down the toilet, in the trash. I had no idea this was going on, man.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do if the situation comes up? You cannot.
But that's my point. I had no idea this situation comes up for so many people. Like, I don't have one of those stories. I've been around for 43 years almost.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as a little kid shit my pants plenty.
Yeah.
But I don't remember ever shitting my pants in an adult situation.
Yeah, and
I can say with certainty I have not.
That gentleman did not shart his pants. He just flat shit his pants. He's trying to make it out like, oh, I farted a little bit, a little came out.
No way, man.
No,
You
dude.
shit your
no,
pants.
no. You shit your pants.
You shat,
something
sir.
or whatever, wherever he was.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I've never.
You've never had one either?
Yeah, I have, but I haven't. I would not throw my underwear or pants away in public. I certainly wouldn't do what E did.
Wait.
Wear a shirt
So
like a
let's
dress.
back up. You've had one of these situations, but yet you salvaged the underwear somehow?
Well, no, I'd throw them away, but I waited till I got home. I told that story on the show.
I don't know.
Well, what'd you do? What do you mean when you waited?
Have you told the
wore
story?
Them while
Yeah,
you were,
yeah.
They were shit in your pants and you were driving home?
Yeah, I was
or-
driving home. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was a disaster. It's not one of my prouder moments.
When did this happen?
Oh God, 20 years ago at least.
When in the day was it?
I was. I've told this story.
I don't think
I don't remember it.
I was going on a date.
How'd that go?
Well, I had to adjust plans last minute. And
Running late. Be there in a minute.
Yeah, I got
texting.
I got to the house and was like, oh shit, this is like a new and I was like, oh, what the fuck? and it was a real problem. And so I'm like,
can't text them.
No, there's no phones back then. So I was just like, you know what? I have a movie from Blockbuster in my car that I have to return, and she's like, well, give me a minute. I'll be
I
right out.
cannot incur the $1.50 charge.
And I was like, no, you know what? I'll be right back. And I fucking ran out of there and tried driving, I don't know, 110
So
back
at
to
that
my
point,
house.
you're standing there on her porch with shit in your pants.
No, not yet. But I knew I wasn't going to go into her house in front of her parents.
Right.
And so I started booking home, and then the dam broke. And I had to waddle back into my house and jump in the shower, and then everything was fine.
All
after
running
that.
down your leg and everything?
Dude, it was not pretty. It was not pretty. I've tried to block out many of the details.
And you were wearing your favorite jeans at that point because you're
leather
on your-
jacket.
So you had to take your
Because
back
you're
up.
right, he was date ready.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you were on your way to
Yeah.
work. It was date.
Yeah, I
ready.
wasn't in sweatpants, and there was no chucking them out the. Yeah, I don't remember what I did with them, or if I tried to wash them, or.
Oh my!
It wasn't pretty, dude. I'm not happy about it.
So does every dude? Am I wrong here?
Oh, I
Like,
think you're in a vast minority.
Really?
It's probably from all your healthy eating for so long.
That's the thing.
That you've never had an issue.
No, that you know what? I've eaten my share of shit as well.
Huh.
So
That's gross. Why would you do that?
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast.
Pieces of shit
Look,
like you
man,
for breakfast.
I had my nights of drinking and my days of eating shit as well. So
But I think you have to be a little.
Yeah.
I think you gave it up sooner. I think you need to be like in your late 20s, maybe when it starts to affect you more. You're older.
Yeah.
No, that's not
Well,
true. When I shit my pants, I was just only 22, I think.
Yeah, I was probably 19 or 18.
Oh,
I don't
man.
remember. Yeah, but
wait, what girl was this?
Oh, I'm not saying.
Come on, man.
Remember at the party at Dan's house when
Which
you'd remember it from the two guys that passed out on top of each other. One shit himself and one wet himself.
Yeah.
And then in the driveway, this actually happened. And the next morning, they got up and left. And I just remember Dan out there with a fucking hose, hosing down his driveway as he's hosing their mess down the driveway. Fuck.
We're animals.
We are animals.
Larissa writes in, "Hello, gents and E. Just to back E regarding the email segment on episode 615 about the dad who shook the shit out of the swan who grabbed his daughter. He was not having deja vu. That was definitely an email that was read on the show before. If I'm not mistaken, the exact email. Just wanted to send this ridiculously insignificant message and, well, just say hi. Winky face! You know, we don't place many rules on our emails. In fact, I don't think we place any. But I'm about to put one on. You cannot send us the same email a year and a half later, okay?
Yeah, that's kind of
Mike and I
bullshit.
are getting up there. We're in advanced age at this point.
Yeah.
Our memories are not what they used to be.
I'm in the fourth quarter of life. Jay's about the halfway point.
Thank God we have young E over here at 38 with his spry memory.
It's amazing what he remembers. Dude, I have zero recollection of that email.
You know, after I went back and searched, I did the old search of the keywords, and sure enough, I think in February 2015, that pops up, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I do remember this now. And I do
Really?
remember reading it. E,
I'm trying to think if there's another email. Naked Running Man? Like if you tried to pass Naked Running Man off as a new email.
Shirtless Running Guy, you mean?
Shirtless Running Guy, yeah. That wouldn't be able to pass the room. But any other email that's been delivered to us in the last couple of years.
You think I could pass it?
I think you could.
Okay, so then we have to impose this rule. I'm sorry, listeners.
just begging
you
people
can't resend emails.
Is that what happened, or did he forget he sent it?
I bet the son of a bitch knew he sent it, and we read it, and he wanted to see if we'd read it again.
Are we absolutely certain that it's the same one?
E, do you have the audio?
This is the first one from February 26, 2015.
Brad writes in, "Hello, lovers. When my girls were really young, I would take them to Domino's Farm, which is a petting zoo in Ann Arbor at the Domino's Pizza headquarters. Everybody knows, right off 23, right?
Yeah.
One day, my kids were at the pond feeding the ducks and geese when a swan swam up. We talked about swans yesterday and being very aggressive.
See, we've even talked about
The
swans.
swan swam up and grabbed my
I'm
daughter's
afraid that I'm
hand
gonna say
in
the
its beak
exact
and
shit
wouldn't
I
let
said.
go. My daughter was maybe 4 at the time and was completely
Monahan, did you see the
freaking out,
cars?
screaming. I jumped to her defense and grabbed the swan by the neck. Well, let me tell you, swans don't like to be grabbed by the neck. This swan flipped out and began flapping its enormous wings, which are like 7 feet wingspan.
You can
You know what I
break
mean?
somebody's arm if you
Yeah.
crack 'em.
Really?
It started flapping its enormous
Is it
wings,
deuced?
but still wouldn't let go of my daughter's hand. So I started shaking its neck back and forth. And after a second or two, I felt its fucking neck snap.
Oh, no.
The swan falls in a heap. Now I'm like, oh, fuck. I look around and see people staring at me. So I wrangle my kids and hurriedly head toward the parking lot. I can hear people behind me shouting, sir, sir. I just say over my shoulder, yeah, she's okay, thanks. I never return. Fuck swans, they're dicks.
So, E, do we have Brad writes
16?
in, hello, lovers. When my girls were really young, I would take them to Domino's
That
Farms.
son of a
One day,
bitch.
my kids were at the pond feeding the ducks and the geese when a swan swam up and grabbed my daughter's hand.
God damn it!
It grabbed my daughter's hand in its beak, and it wouldn't let go. My daughter
Sound more
was maybe
relaxed.
4 at the time and was completely freaking out and screaming. I jumped to her defense and grabbed the swan by the neck. Well, let me tell you, swans don't like it when you grab their neck. The swan flipped out and began flapping its enormous wings, but still
This
wouldn't let go
feels
of my
more the
daughter's
way
hand,
it
so I
should
started
go with this
shaking my neck
conversation.
back and
Instead
forth.
of-
After a second or two,
Give it a good fucking shake.
I felt its fucking neck snap. The swan falls in a heap. Now I'm like, oh, fuck. I look around and see people staring at me, so I wrangle my kids and hurriedly
Still can't
head
say
toward
it.
the parking lot. I can hear people behind me shouting, sir, sir. I just say over my shoulder, yeah, she's okay, thanks. I never return. Fuck swans or dicks.
Have we had this email before? Exact story before?
I don't think so.
I swear.
Really?
No, if
Is this a
it
deja
wasn't
vu moment?
no, because if it wasn't about this, we have had an email that had a person.
Fucking
something happened
emailed
with
it.
this kid and an animal. He had to attack the situation and it was running away, and people were yelling at him, going, "Sir, sir."
Really? I don't
Now maybe
remember.
it wasn't.
Wow.
Fucking E.
Dude.
God damn it. I still can't say hurriedly.
Hurriedly. I was in my head trying to say it when you were stumbling over it numerous times. I mean, like a
hurriedly.
lot of times you stumbled over it, and I couldn't do it in my head.
I had a year and a half to improve that.
Is it hurriedly or
Hurriedly.
Hurriedly.
That's what I was stumbling with. I think it's hurriedly.
I don't think so. I think it's hurriedly. Hurried. It's hurried.
I know.
So hurriedly.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
Can we? He's not gonna know how to spell hurriedly. Yeah. Can you do the dictionary, the verbal?
So my point is, lay off that shit, listeners. Okay, we need new email. We don't want to read the same shit 2 years later.
Yeah.
It's not
That's
fair to
bad.
us. It's not fair to us.
No, it's cheating. Did you find it, E?
I think so.
Hurry. Do we know how to say hurry?
I know.
Do we know how to hurry and find the fucking word hurry?
It's look at it. It's under. It says hurriedly under the dictionary, under this thing, and then you go to it and it just says hurried.
God damn it, E.
I mean, that's what it says under. It says the hurriedly definition.
I know. I don't need the definition. I know what hurriedly
I know, look
means,
at
but
it.
I just
I
don't
don't
know how to pronounce it.
I know.
It's one of the few words in the world that I know what it means, but not how to pronounce.
Yeah, good point.
In fact, I can't think of another one.
Fuck E.
No, it says it won't. It doesn't say
Hurried.
hurriedly. It won't say hurriedly. It won't pronounce it.
Hurried.
It even says on here hurriedly, and it won't pronounce it.
All right, hurriedly then. Hurriedly.
That's what I'm saying. Look at
hurried.
this. It even says it, but under that, it will not. When it verbally,
Hurried.
it will just say hurried.
Whatever. We'll save the rest for Monday, Mike.
All right. Well, have a good weekend, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us. We, as always, appreciate that.
Please use our Amazon link, DetroitCast.com. You'll find a link. Please use it. Helps out the show.
All right. We'll kill it. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Hurriedly. Hurriedly.